Hello, this is Doreen Weese. I am second grade elementary teacher, and we're going to be talking about main idea and details today. Whenever my students read, I like for them to go in with a purpose. Set a purpose means to go in there looking for information, things that would be important. They are still learning how to figure out what is and what is not important. But when we're done with the passage, I like for them to be able to have a takeaway, either learn the lesson from a fairy tale or learn possibly something that can help them in the future, or just basically to be able to answer the questions that they're going to see and understand which information is trivial and which information is important. In order to do that, I have a graphic organizer here that the kids kind of like, where we start with supporting details and we work our way to the main idea. What I usually do is have my kids put things on stickies and come up and stick them up here, or we discuss them, talk about them, and write them down. When they're at home, they can very easily do this little 4-block method. They can draw the ice cream cone or not, and they can read their story and fill in this information. So perhaps I'll ask my students and I'll collect all kinds of different answers, or if you're working with one child, they might read through their book, and every so often they read a little bit and they come up with something important. So for example, the story we're reading right now is about weather, and it's teaching them to be prepared for all different kinds of weather. So for example, something that would be really important for them to know is the first detail might be where they're to take shelter. Doesn't matter if it's a thunderstorm or if it's a sandstorm, if it's a blizzard. We've talked about all kinds of different storms. No matter what the case is, they need to know where to take shelter. The next thing might be something that does involve their family. What do you do once you know a blizzard or a storm is coming? Perhaps they might do some what we called blizzard grocery shopping, where they're going to try to find foods that they can eat that don't have to be cooked, and they can store them without being in the refrigerator and so forth. And the kids like to add that because we've had floods and we've had blizzards here, and the kids are kind of familiar with that. So I like that that's something that they can connect with. The third part of our story talked about keeping pets safe. Any of my students that have pets, they want to know that their cat or dog or whatever is inside the house and has plenty of food and plenty of things that are needed for when there's a storm. Now, after we talk about this, and if you're working at home with your child, after you talk about what's going on in the story, we try to then talk about what do you see on several different pages. What do you see? Do you see something that connects all these together? Is there kind of like an umbrella word that will collect all of these different thoughts? And after we talked about our story, we decided no matter whether it's a sandstorm or a blizzard or a flood or anything, we need to know all these things, and we need to be prepared. We need to make sure our stickies have lots of sticky on them so they'll stick up on the board. Anyway, that's how we do main idea and details.